Welcome to Howard Feather. He works with Andrew Garland as a business coach, and he's going to talk to us today on a growth mindset. I've known him for a long time. He's a really brilliant guy, and we're looking forward to everything he has to say. So, Howard, do speak to us for 10 minutes, starting from now.
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Anna said, I'm going to start with a question. So, does anybody know what the left side of their brain does?
Isn't it creative?
Richard, you are so right, but wrong at the same time. Because the left side is the logical side. The right side is the creative. So you're absolutely right.
I knew it was one side and the other.
Yeah. Exactly. So they're very much one side and the other. Ladies, there is a advantage that you have over us gentlemen straight away, is the connections between your left side and right side are more numerous and much more effective than the gents. So gents, you do need to be aware of this, that you're creating your logic between the right and left side, or creating those links is a lot harder for us than it is for the ladies. So with that in mind, we also want to talk about what kind of mindset you have. The reason I started with left and right will come clear, I absolutely promise. So are we stuck in a fixed mindset where I'm either good at it or I'm not? When I get frustrated with something, I give up. I don't like to be challenged. When I fail, I feel like I'm no good. And I try and tell myself I'm smart, but I don't really, I know that. It's probably one of the phrases that you would hear from someone in a fixed mindset is, it's okay, I know that. Or are you in a growth mindset? Are you open to learn? Are you open to challenge yourself? And when you fail, you feel like you're learning, not failing. And actually every failure is a lesson. The differences between, in my mind, are all about how you think. So whether you think positively or whether you think negatively. So those of you who know me a little bit more will know that I have a biology and biochemistry degree. So I do enjoy a little bit of science. So please bear with me. I'm going to talk about the science for the brain for a second. Does anybody know, and I'm looking at Mary, sorry, what the gap between your neurons is called?
No.
Awesome. Alan, go for it.
Synapse?
The synaptic gap, absolutely. So it's the gap between your two neurons. And this is what so when we're creating that synaptic gap, that's us thinking. So that's us thinking positively or negatively. And when those synaptic gaps react and they go together, so we could, for example, we could put a goal or a plan in there, and that's us starting to think about how to do it. If we think about something positive, so we think about that goal, we think about that future, when we create that synaptic gap, we actually release a chemical called serotonin. Anybody know? I'm going to go with Steve because his hand's been up twice already. Do you know what serotonin does, Steve? It does make us really happy. It's the happy drug. So that and oxytocin. So serotonin makes us happy. So if we regularly think positively, guess what? We become positive, happy people. If we think about that failure, we think we can't do it, we release cortisol. Now, cortisol is in the press an awful lot at the moment because it's the stress drug. It makes us stressed, it makes us unhappy, and it makes us feel sad. So straight away, hopefully you can now see the science behind those those mindsets. The fixed mindset, we're telling ourselves we can't do it, and we release cortisol. With the growth mindset, we look at failure as a lesson we learn, and we are on our journey, and we release serotonin instead, and we are absolutely happy. Now, I'm going to come back to where I started, which is with the left and right side. So if we want to empower our brain and make those synaptic gaps work positively, we have to understand how to make them work. So we've mentioned about the left side and the right side being one side logic, which is the left, and the right side being the more creative, the more flamboyant, the more visual. So the way to make sure that we are in that growth mindset, but also creating an awful lot of serotonin when we're thinking, is to play to both strengths. So your logical side likes us writing things down, likes a plan, likes to be very specific. And your creative side, your right side, likes to be visual. Now, all of us will straight away, hands up, go, I have a side that I prefer. So there will be people in the room. And again, Eva, I'm going to pick on you. I'm going to hazard a guess that you would say the right side is your stronger side.
I believe so, but I did do computer science at uni.
So here we go. The brilliant example of actually the two working in harmony, but there is one side that is slightly stronger. But to create those gaps and to create the synaptic gaps and that serotonin, we need to make sure that we connect both sides. So again, I've mentioned plans, but then we have to make them visual. So this is where we can really, really enjoy the process. Now, who's got a vision board? Anybody hands up who's got a vision board? So a vision board is a load of pictures to back up your goal, your plans, and where you want to end up. Alan, go on, you've got a question or?
No, I've got a vision board. I was saying yes to that. So now I
Yeah,
know what.
So that vision board is connecting to the right side. Who's got a plan of where they want to be personally or even in business? A couple more, but again, that's going to be a written plan, I guess. So guess what I'm going to say now, and this is going to be my finishing touch. If you combine those two, you will create those synaptic gaps. You'll fill those synaptic gaps. You will create more serotonin. You will feel happy about it. And when you get that emotion, guess what? All of you will succeed in where you want to go because you're using more and more of your full brain capacity. Easy as that, Alan. Any questions?
Wow, that was amazing. I haven't done that much biology since 3 o'clock on the morning before my GCSE exam. Right, any questions, peeps?
I presume we can train the brains that are possibly weaker or the half of the brain. We must be able to.
Absolutely, and that's there is a part of your brain which is called the RAS system. It's the reticular articular. I can never remember the second word. System. It's your subconscious. So, on an average day, we have about 60 million interactions with the brain. So they're a stimuli around us, and guess what? We can't really recognize that many when we're focusing on things. So there's so many things that we don't notice. But when you program your RAS, you're telling your subconscious or your brain that's filtering everything out what you want to look for. So the perfect example is every time we want to go and buy a car, how many times, so let's say I want a BMW 3 Series, every other car on the road automatically ends up being a BMW 3 Series because I'm starting to look for one. And that is a perfect example of you setting your RAS and your brain starts spotting every single occurrence of that. So we can do that with our goal mapping, and we can do that with your mindset. If I want to look for success, just tell your brain that's what I'm looking for, and it will find it. Stephen.
Is the second word activator?
Yes.
Activate.
Thank you. Yes.
That's so impressive, Mr. Baker. That is just so good. Can you go over slowly that bit about how to be happy?
How to be happy?
Yeah. So you talk. Yeah.
It's thinking positively and enforcing it both in the written and in the visual, so that you're creating that synaptic gap between your left and right side, which will release serotonin. So thinking positively, thinking of where you want to go, thinking of what you want to do, and celebrating every success, and including the small ones.
Right, Jim.
One of the problems with that, Alan, is that your actual mind and your brain is wired in a particular way through past history. So sometimes you've got to break that chain. You've got to change that synaptic jump in a different way. I've just sort of recently lost a lot of weight, and I did that by rewiring the way that I perceived food and eating and one thing or other. So it can be done. You can train your brain in a different way, but it's really difficult to stop yourself doing what you've always done.
Perfect example. Thank you, Jim. That is an absolutely great example.
We thought you were looking ill, Jim.
Yeah, somebody said that to me. They said, "Oh, you're looking well, Jim. Have you been ill?"
Yeah, I've also lost a lot of weight, just in case you hadn't noticed. Any other questions,
I've gone
comments?
the other way, unfortunately.
All right, okay. Right. Any other questions, comments? Lovely. I did love that. I thought that was really good, actually. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought just very good. Yeah, round of applause. Okay, I'll press the stop record button and then thank you very much.